Hello, hello. Welcome to the Unapologetically Badass podcast. Hello, everyone. I am Renee, your host, with our fabulous Sierra. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
We are going to talk about traditions and whether we are keeping them, we're tweaking them, or we're tossing them out the freaking door. So we love sharing, different traditions. And we were having these conversations, especially I think like over the holidays, because that's really when, we get into a lot of the traditions. And we were like, God, as we outgrow things. And even though the month that we're recording this, we may not be in a huge tradition family event month, but we're getting into more.
Summer's coming, and that
Yeah, and
calls
spring and Easter and all of that. So we're like, you know what? We're going to talk about the stuff that, we loved, the things that meant and still mean so much to us, and ones that are like we have to revamp our lives with adult children. So that's the other thing, is like tweaking some of these traditions. So let's dive in. Like, let's talk about growing up. Like, I do you have any favorite traditions growing up?
I do, babe. I do. Oh my gosh.
What stands
So,
out?
and I had like a whole story of how I started traditions, but for me, I don't know about you, but Christmas time was always special. And it was just something that we did. We knew that we were going over to see my grandma and all of my aunts and uncles and cousins. And I mean, this is a lot of people, y'all. Like,
Yeah.
I grew up in a big Hispanic family, so there's just tons of us everywhere. And we knew every single year that grandma was going to give us $10. You guys, it cost $10 back $10, and we all went to the movies on Christmas. So we would have our Mexican food. We'd cook the tamales the week before, so we'd have our Mexican food. We would do gifts, give grandma her big gift, and she would give all of us grandkids our $10, and we all left. All the grandkids left. So there were like 20 of us going to the movies. It was so fun.
So
And
was
just
that a
being
way of
younger.
the adult? I'm sorry, but was that a way of the adults saying, "Kids, get the fuck out of here"?
Yes. Yes. And we loved it. So, and
Yeah,
$10 was enough to like get your
yeah,
movie ticket, and then enough for like maybe a soda and a
yeah.
little small popcorn. Can you believe that, y'all? Like,
I
that's
know,
how old I am.
I know.
So that was a good one, Renee. That was just something that we all knew was going to happen year after year until grandma
Yeah.
passed. So
Oh.
how about you?
Without a doubt, I absolutely, positively love my Italian family Christmas Eve tradition at my grandmother and grandfather Esposito's house
Yeah.
on my mother's side. It was all the family and all of their siblings and the nieces
Yeah.
and the nephews and the aunts and the uncle. It
Yep.
was ginormous. And then Santa Claus would come. Our Uncle
Oh,
Charlie. So Uncle Charlie dressed up as Santa every year. And of course, we didn't know. But then all of a sudden, Santa was there and he's giving out toys to everyone. And then the parent, all the adults shooed the kids upstairs. And then when we came down, all of a sudden Uncle Charlie was there. And we never quite understood why Auntie Eva came. Like, was she there with Santa and no Uncle Charlie until after the fact? We never quite understood
when
that.
you're
But
a kid, you're oblivious. You're so focused
totally
on
oblivious.
Santa,
We were just
you
like,
don't recognize
what
who's there.
yeah, and what toy do I get? And when we get the new
Yeah.
Barbie doll and like, oh my God, and like,
Cabbage
the cabbage patch, like all of it. But the biggest thing was the seven fishes, the traditional seven. Have you heard of the seven fishes?
No. Is
So
this an Italian thing?
that's an Italian thing. And on
Okay.
Christmas Eve, you would have seven different types of fishes. So this was an all
Oh,
night. This is like Christmas Eve was cocktails, the Italian family, the priest would come for part of this. People are
God.
having sambuca, they're dressed up, they got the seven fishes, they've got the steamer, they got the shrimp. I mean, it was like a whole night of fun and like Sinatra playing and Sammy Davis
Oh,
Jr. and Dean Martin. I'll never forget, like the old record plays the big system that you open up in the
yeah.
albums. And like, it was just such a fun, oh my God, it was the best experience. And I miss that so much. I miss having,
Yeah.
that big family. Our
Yeah.
family's gotten like, it shrunk. Like people
Yeah.
don't do what they used to do.
When
I
the
even,
person who holds you together
yeah,
isn't there anymore, everything shifts.
everything.
You made me think about the seven fishes. You made me think we always played this game. So before we went to the movies and stuff, we always played this game as a family, and it was like huge. It was called Shit on Your Neighbor. And you have to put quarters in, and you literally try to shit on your neighbor with
Oh my
cards. Like, you try to give them the bad card, and it was
yeah.
just so fun. And the pot would end up having like $200, $300, and
Oh,
at the
yeah,
end everybody was getting mad at
yeah,
everybody. Oh yeah, it was
yeah.
good stuff.
Well, then what we did is so part of the seven fishes. Have you ever had smelts?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
so
love
smelts
it.
and snail salad, like I was
Not
always look
everybody
forward
loves
to
it,
it.
but I love
Yeah,
it.
love it. But anyway, so then on Christmas and Thanksgiving, we would play Pacino. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't heard of bikini. Have you heard of Snappy Canasta?
I heard of Canasta, I've never played.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, okay, okay. So
So
what
Pacino
is this?
is a card game, and it's like everyone has their cards, and there's pictures of different playing cards on it. So King of Clubs, Jack of Spades, whatever.
Okay,
And it would
got
have
it.
like a whole bunch of them. I don't know, maybe 15 of them, whatever. And so there was a center line and four corners. So we'd have little cups. And you remember the old Corningware little cup,
Yes,
right, with
yes,
a
yes,
little
yes.
design on it. So we'd have 3 cups and you put pennies. You put a penny for a line, center, and 4 corners. So then
Okay.
we would have a deck of cards and you'd call, Jack of clubs. And if somebody's got the center, they grab the money from the center and they win those pennies. You stay for
Nice.
line and 4 corners. So then 4 corners built up. And that's the same thing. We'd be like razzing everyone and shitting on them because, son of a bitch, like you got the next one.
Yes,
But it was
yes,
something that the kids could do with the adults, which
yes,
was
yes.
nice.
It was little kids from probably
Yeah.
like the age of like 6, because
Yeah.
they knew high and low.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
God,
So
those
we would play Pacino, and I brought that back. I have a Pacino set, so I bought one. And
Aw.
when my kids were younger, I tried to bring back, part of the Christmas Eve tradition. I love
Yeah,
seven fishes, but try to get kids to eat seven fishes, or
yeah,
so that's hard. So we haven't done it, but that's something that I miss, and my kids would know. Like we did Christmas Eve at our house, and that's one thing that I fought with my ex about, and I was, ensured that I had my Christmas Eve, and that was
yeah,
really a blessing because we would do, even if it wasn't total seven fishes, but we would have that and we would have our pajamas
yeah,
on and like hang out. But Christmas Eve is something that has always been really, really special to me. And now it's
yeah.
like it's changed. It's,
It
you know, we,
did.
we don't really do now. We do Christmas Eve at, we've been shared the last couple of years. We've been doing it at his sister's because that's a time that he and his sisters get
Yeah,
together once a year because they're,
yeah.
all over. And my kids are older. So now it's like
Yep,
tweaking the traditions because my oldest comes with divorce. They now have to go different places. And,
yep.
her fiance has divorced parents. So I don't want to be stingy and go like, I want to be
I
respectful,
know, I
knowing that
know.
they have to go see other families too. So we try to
Yes.
adapt, but it definitely makes it feel different, you
It
know?
really does, especially when the kids don't appreciate, like, going to one home
Yeah.
every year constantly is, like, the main thing. It
Yeah.
really, really is a struggle to
Yeah.
get everybody together. My kids' tradition actually kinda started with divorce too, Renee, was while I was going through a divorce and I was having those moments, and, because we split the kids weekly.
Yeah.
So they would go with him for 1 week, and on the weeks where I was alone and just alone in my thoughts and really just, like, processing everything, I remembered those Christmases. I remembered having a big family, and I was stuck in this place where I couldn't be close to my family, my dad, my sisters, because I moved away and then got divorced, and now I'm stuck in this place, and my kids can have both their parents with no friends, no family. And I was like, I need this. I need
Yeah.
something. So our tradition with my kids was, I said, I'm going to rent a lake house every Christmas or Thanksgiving,
Oh,
because my ex and he wouldn't give me like guaranteed like every Christmas Eve. He was
yeah.
adamant about, no, you get them whenever you get them. So if I knew it was my Thanksgiving, I booked our lake house. If
Oh,
I knew it was
love
my
that.
Christmas, I booked our lake house. And I said I wanted to be something that the kids look forward to every single year. And believe it or not, it worked. My
Mhm.
boys, it was like, Mom, I'm going to the lake house. Mom, I'm going to the lake house. But
Yeah.
like you said, It had to be tweaked because now
Yeah.
they're grown. They live in different states, different countries, different cities. They have families, so they work jobs like, and a lot of these jobs, they don't get off on the
No,
holidays. So it's
no.
kind of like, "Hey, do you guys want to rent a house?" And they're like, "Yeah, we do, but when?" "No, I can't do the first. I can't do the second. I
Right.
can't," and it's not they do want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
But
adjusting,
but
like, my one daughter-in-law, she has, like, 6 families she
oh,
tries to go see, 6.
oh my
I'm like, "Girl, there has to be a time where you're like, 'Okay, I'm
God.
not gonna do this every year.'"
Yeah. But and that's the thing, we then have to celebrate a holiday or tradition on a different date.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
no longer, we're gonna celebrate Thanksgiving. It's like we're gonna
Mhm.
celebrate the Thanksgiving
Yes,
season. Like,
yes.
it's hard. I mean, even like Easter, I remember growing up and as kids, we would get all dressed up and we have our Easter eggs and we
Yes,
go to
yes.
church and we do a lot of Easter egg hunt and we were dressed up and even with like Palm Sunday and having the palm, like that
Mhm.
was a big deal is getting the palms. And I had,
Yes.
my grandmother and my mom would make the cross out of the palm. And I was always, like,
No.
enamored how they did that, and it was a tradition for them to make crosses and then go to people's houses and give them the crosses. Everyone would exchange crosses and
Aw,
exchange palms, which, like,
I
if you
love it.
have the palm, how are you exchanging it? But that's what we did, like so and I mean, sad, I'm guilty, I don't go to church like I used to for sure and how I did growing up, but, those traditions are no longer there, and I can't say that I miss having to go on Palm Sunday and getting
Yeah.
up and doing that, but,
I just miss the chaos in the house. It was just so
yeah,
fun to have all the nieces and nephews and aunts and uncles all
yeah,
there together. And it's just not like that anymore. But now I'm the grandma and the kids are now coming with their others. And so when that chaos is here,
yeah,
Renee, it is like so nostalgic. It
yeah,
is like my heart is warm, my
yep,
soul feels fulfilled. And I don't care if it is on 5 days before Thanksgiving,
yep,
when they're all together like that,
yep.
it's just like, we still do shit on your neighbor, which is me and my kid. I still make Mexican food every single Christmas. It is something that
Wow,
I think at least one of my daughter-in-laws will carry it on. I really
yep,
hope so because my grandson loves his beans and rice. But I just hope that, they will that they'll miss those things and they'll
yeah.
want that for themselves and their family, you know?
Yeah, yep, absolutely. And so for us, like we upcoming is Easter, and with having, the adult kids, we're lucky they're going to come over for Easter dinner, but our Easter dinner is going to look different. Like we used to
Yeah.
grow up having like ham and potatoes and lasagna, and the kid, most of them, they don't want ham. They're like, I don't want
No.
ham. I don't want
Yeah.
that. So we're like, you know what? We're gonna cook steaks on the grill, and as long as we have our Easter bread. So I don't know if you have Portuguese Easter bread.
No,
Portuguese.
I've never had it. You need to mail me some, girl.
Yes. Okay. I totally will. Portuguese sweet bread, sweet rolls, and you get the sweet
Mm.
bread with the egg in the middle. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it is so good. Have that with some coffee. It's like,
Oh,
oh, it is so
right now,
yummy. So
my
with
mouth is watering.
yeah, that's definitely a tradition, and we still do I don't know if you've ever done, but we did for a couple of years with the adult kids is having the Easter egg hunts for with nips.
Oh, no. I one year, I put money in the
Oh, yeah.
eggs. I
Mhm.
did glow in the dark ones, and then I did, like, money ones, and oh my gosh, they were hilarious. These kids acted like they were
Yeah,
2 years old again.
yeah,
It was so fun. It's
yeah,
just that there's only, like, usually 4 of us,
yep.
so it's not as big, but yeah, it's so fun.
It really is, and even though, at first, as adult, we're like, "We're gonna do an Easter egg hunt," and they're like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god, I'm too old for that," and then when you make them do it, they're like, "Oh my god, oh my
Yeah,
god,"
they're
like,
so
they're
competitive. They're
yes,
like,
they're
"Get
running
out of my
around and growing.
way."
So we did it with nips and eggs with,
What is
like,
a
scratch
nip? What is
you
a
know
nip?
oh,
No.
like the little alcohol bottles.
Shit.
So, and especially fun when like
I've never heard anybody call them nips, but hey, I learned something new
oh,
today.
there you go. So yeah, it was especially funny, like with, broke, college kids, because you know that they're drinking, right? And so you have like
Yes,
some of the
yes.
nips in they'd go find them. So
I did.
that
I did. I think I did. I did chocolate, alcohol, money, and this is
Mhm.
when I had my German son. When he had come like at this time, and we did it. Oh, these kids were cracking me up. So it's just so fun.
Yeah.
I don't know, having adult kids, like even for Christmas now, when we do get together, we play games,
Mhm.
drinking games. Like,
Mhm.
where you blow the card and the last person to get the card off takes a shot, flip the cup, tic-tac-toe. We play games, like,
Yeah.
and I'll do gift cards and candy and things like that so that they
Yeah.
win things.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, you kind of make it fun,
We
especially
do.
and then now that Aries is like getting bigger, that's my grandbaby. Now he's joining in on the fun. Like
Yeah.
this year I did little bags with fireworks and candy in it, like pop, not fireworks, poppers,
Yep.
and
Yep.
he thought that was so cool. And I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
I definitely like the game things, and we've done like left, right, center, and
Yeah.
I did giveaways and games for that.
Oh, you do the PJs? I've tried. We have failed.
We've tried that.
Okay,
Um,
good.
that
We
was
have
Tony. I would do the PJs with the girls, and we did like matching PJs too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've
I
done that, and like
I
onesies.
don't think go ahead, go ahead.
We've done onesies.
Oh, no, how cute. Okay, so I
Oh,
I
adorable.
can't say that I failed. Okay, so I have, like, the girls get a pair of PJs and I mail a pair to my daughter-in-law. That's all, they're always in a different state. And
Yeah,
then me and Amber have a pair, and then all the boys get the same kind of like bottoms,
yeah,
right? So, and it's just we can't ever seem to like get everybody together, and then everybody forgets to wear them, but they have them. So on the event, I'd be like, I might say, "You know what? Everybody wear those freaking PJs that I bought you 2 years ago. Get them on and come over for a slumber party." Like, I don't know, because we just
yeah,
can't ever seem to, like, we're like, "No, I didn't bring mine. No, I don't have mine here. No, I don't," and I'm just like, "Okay,
yeah.
I give
Yeah, no, I definitely wanna do that. It's just always so hard now with
up." It is.
a
It
holiday to
is.
get everyone together, and that's a struggle. So
Yeah.
that's a tweak, but the important thing is, the lessons that we learned, like I would
Yeah.
tell, I wish more women knew to or remembered that no one gives a shit what your house looks like. So the
Yeah.
stress, right? So many people, like with getting everyone together, are so worried about preparing the house and cleaning and doing all the things. And like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just
No, let's
the
make it
importance of
crappy.
getting together. That's the tradition. And I love asking the kids like what they want to do too. Like I want them to
Yeah.
remember that, it's fun, and I want them to look forward to it. I never want to be like that obligatory, visit.
I don't wanna be the nuisance. Like,
No.
we were doing, like, the every Christmas, and when my son got married to his wife, I learned really quickly that her family is way, way more important, okay?
Mm,
And
mhm,
I don't mean that in a bad way, but
mhm.
she was miserable in
Yeah,
our lake house adventures. My son loved it, but he just wants his wife to be happy.
right.
And I was like, okay, we're not doing this anymore because I don't want her to think like, oh, she sacrificed her Christmas or
Yeah,
I don't ever want there to be a reason to just for it to be yucky. I want it
yeah,
to be a choice, right? Like you want them to want to.
yeah.
So, the following year they wwere able to come in the spring and we did a beach house in the
Oh,
springtime. And
nice.
we were all together and played
Oh,
games and rented a boat. And so it still
yeah.
kind of felt like it. It was just a different season.
Yeah, that's so nice. I always wanted to be that's, part of my why is, I love doing that, is trying to get everyone together. And I
Yeah,
always
that's all that
feel like
matters.
as I'm like, I wanna pay for it all. Like, I wanna figure out and have that annual event, that annual vacation where I'm going to be able to pay for all the kids, the grandkids to be together in one house, one space, and,
Yes.
rent that beach house, rent that lake house, and do
Yeah.
something like that for, a few days a week. That's
And
what I
I've been able to, and I'm blessed, Renee, because I have been able to do that every year for
that's
them on the years that my other son and his wife come home.
yeah.
Because and it's sad that it's dependent on when they come home, but when they come home, it completes everybody.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
it's hard whenever you always just have these 2 kids near you all the time, and you still want, like, you still try to make it fun, but it's just 2.
Right.
And then when the other one comes, it's like, "Oh, we're complete now. Okay,
Yeah.
what big thing are we doing?"
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I would definitely say toss too. I agree with you, is like, forget about how the house is. Like, just based in the fact that you have everybody under one roof, right?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And the
Um,
other thing too that I had to evolve is, I've mentioned it before, is, for those that don't have the picture perfect family, and for me being estranged from my youngest daughter, my
that's hard.
traditions and, our holidays look different. And, at first it was, of course, it's always going to be hard. And I, pray to God that it doesn't last long. But, it's been a couple of years. So I had to like adapt and go like, okay, what is it going, how can we take our traditions of the past, love
Yeah.
on them, enjoy the memories, but still
Yeah.
have part of those traditions for our future without focusing on the sadness and what we don't have. So when have that evolving family, it's releasing the expectations of what you thought it should look like in the
Oh,
future, right?
so good.
So,
That's so good. That's and
yeah,
it's so
in
much
order to
harder
be
to do.
present, right? We wanna be present and be able to enjoy what we do have and the family and the people that we are
Instead of what's
celebrating with.
missing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
Like my daughter-in-law and son, they live in Hawaii, and
yeah,
so Hawaii is in the United States, but it's like
it
lifetimes away, guys.
yes,
Like it
yes.
takes an 8, 9, it takes a whole day to travel there and for
Right,
them to travel here.
right.
So they don't get to come home for holidays.
Yeah.
And so I know that it's different, Renee, because being estranged is
Oh,
different
yeah.
than just
Yeah,
them
but
being
you can
absent.
still relate to it. Yeah, when you
Yeah,
don't
you
have
just
the family
you
there.
have to be okay with not having everything the way you want it
Mhm,
to be or how you think it should be. And
mhm.
that is what is so hard about really aging in
Yeah.
that family, like, and still keeping those traditions alive,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, exactly,
Mhm.
exactly.
I just want to be okay. So, am I going to be selfish and just say that I want to be selfish and I want, like, eventually there just be like tons of grandkids and all they want to say is, I want to go to mom's house.
I
Like,
know.
why am I selfish and want that?
I know. No, that's not selfish, and I want it too. My oldest daughter has already told me that because she loves to cook as well, and
Oh, good,
so
good.
well, I can't say as well because I don't love to cook, but I
I'm
love,
sorry if
like,
you're watching this.
right? Yeah, I mean, I love certain traditions, certain things that I love cooking,
Yeah.
but she wants to have, and we've had many conversations about it, and I told her that when I was a new mom, I felt the pressure of having to get my kids dressed up and go
Yes.
to everyone's house on
That's what my
Christmas,
daughter-in-law is
right?
doing,
And
Renee.
yeah, and, like, show them up like they're little dolls,
Yeah.
and they're perfect,
Yeah.
and go here for Easter and go here for Thanksgiving. I'm like, "Brianna, no. Do not do that for me. You need to be mom, and if you wanna stay home on Christmas, we will come to you. You are the new mom. The kids wanna stay home. As they get older, they wanna play with their own toys. They don't want Santa to come in the morning, and then you tell, 'Hurry up, you're gonna get dressed. We gotta go.'" No, 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 no.
I
So
only have, like, one daughter-in-law to deal with here
mhm,
now,
mhm.
and it's kind of a blessing because I really do everything around her because she is going to all 6 of those homes, and it's like, and I know she feels obligated because everybody has gifts for Eris, for
Yeah,
her baby, my
yeah,
grandson, and I
yeah.
know she feels like she needs to go, but that's so
A
much
lot.
during the holiday thing. So I'm just like, babe, do you want to do it in the morning? You want to do it like
Yeah.
2 days before? I just am asking her. And then my son, who is single right now, it makes it easy because I'm just like, hey, babe, come over on this day. And he's like, okay, cool, mom, I'll see you.
Yeah.
Now, if I had in the mix all three daughter-in-laws at one time, I don't know what that would look like
Right.
either.
Right.
Because that's
Yeah.
a lot on a mom. Because like you said, as a young mom, you really are trying to figure out. And I'm like, okay, girl, when you get your own place, I'll go to you.
Yeah.
As long
Yep.
as I get to show up and get my hug
Yeah.
and my loves, and I get to cook because that's just what I want to do. I want to
Yeah.
cook for
It's your love
everybody. Like,
language, of course. Yep.
yeah.
I want Brianna. I've been manifesting this and I'm putting it out there into the universe on this podcast that my daughter and her husband will have a home large enough that has a ensuite, an in-law apartment, an in-law place,
Oh, I love
a
it.
granny pod, a something, so that Tony and I can come up and spend a few days with them. That's what I want. But I keep
Yeah.
on saying I've been warning them. I've been telling them because she is like, already telling me that I'm going to be there with her, and I'm like, honey, I can't
I
be with
need to
you.
manifest that for my son and his wife. They're military, so they'll never really have their own place if he stays in.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
it's really hard. Military life, you guys, is not easy, by the way. And that was
Right.
another part of traditions that I
Right.
had to toss because military life with a family is rough.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say a shout out to every military family who is trying to create and maintain your
Yeah.
tradition. Good for you. So with them being military, they'll never really be able to settle in,
Yeah.
in one specific place. So I can only hope that they just have one extra bedroom. So like right now in Hawaii, they have that one extra bedroom. So I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah. Exactly. That's
For
the
my
thing. I'm like,
for
just
my daughter-in-law here, I'm like, you are not moving far away from me. And she's like,
right.
no, I'm not moving far. We've already agreed. Like if we could be neighbors, we would.
I want a compound. That would
Yeah,
totally make me
us
so
too.
happy. But
With a
my
garden in the middle and a
yes,
pond.
and like
Yeah,
the houses can be, separate away from each other, but was still a compound.
yeah,
That would make me so happy with all the kids. They all have their own
yeah,
space, but yeah, we can get together. I would absolutely love that. The problem that
yeah,
I face and I razz on my oldest because her and her fiance, soon to be husband, they want to stay in the Boston area and I'm
area.
about 90 minutes away and I can't,
Uh-huh.
that's agita to me. I can't live in a city. I am I need space. I need peace and quiet. I need
Yeah, me
easy
too.
driving. So
Are we actually the same on that?
is that something with the
We
same one?
we actually have, something totally in common when it
Yeah.
comes. Yes, I'm the same. I will rather drive on a 2-lane road for 3 hours to get home
Oh,
than to
no,
be
no,
in the
no,
middle
no,
of the
no.
city.
Okay, no, backtrack that. No, no. So I want to be
I like the country.
no, I don't want the hectic of that big city traffic.
Yeah, no
But
way.
I'm
No.
okay with I want to be able to get in my car. I used to live in a place that it was like 30 minutes to get to the damn grocery store. I want to be in a place where it's easy to get to places and I truly don't want to drive. Like if it was up to me, I'd have my golf cart and just toot toot and go do what I
You're
want to
so
do.
funny. So if you have
Mhm.
a compound, you can just put a little grocery store in the middle,
But
that you created with refrigerators, and you guys
but
could just
yes.
storage
Can
and
you just picture me with my little golf cart and
yes,
driving over, going
yes,
oh,
yes.
coffee in the morning.
Honey, you
Why
got eggs today? Do you have chickens over there?
I'll
do
be
you
like,
have
wait,
apples to
girls,
use wine or
one who's
milk?
gonna whine. Toot toot. Come on out, come on out. We're gonna let's have a glass of wine together. Yes. Let's have a cup of coffee. Let's have a cup of tea. Let's do it. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what I want. But 90 minutes away, it's not easy to, have those traditions of being able to be together as often because, it's hard.
That's
And
what honestly my dream, Renee, is to buy a lake house that I could legacy wise give to my children for them to forever use for their families. But I don't think that we would actually live there. I think that we would just use it as a rental. But I
yeah,
want it as an escape. Because
Yeah.
I'm like you, I do need to be close enough to things, but I love that serene moment. Now, Houston is like the fourth largest city in the in United States. So when I get even close to that city, I'm like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh, my heart
yes.
starts racing. I'm like, oh my God, I'm
I'm like
scared.
I'm like 25, 30 minutes from the chaos. So this is perfect.
Yes, 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 yes. And so I'm 90 minutes away from that, but I'm totally with you as far as wanting to have a place, a refuge where they can all come. And whether I have it as a rental or a place that I live, and they can come and go, here's the keys, use it when you want. Like, and so when I'm
That's like a
gone, they can
living,
then have
right?
that and go, is that tradition? Like, remember when mom used to? Like,
Yeah.
I definitely want that. I think that's why, that's why we're hustling, girls. So anyone
Yeah.
out there that wants to parts of these small business dreams, like, please come check us out.
Like, we
That
got big dreams. We got lots
big
to
dreams.
accomplish before this world like
Yes.
takes us out. And that's
Yeah,
what I was going to say is that traditions are also like legacy, right?
it is.
So, you can
Yeah.
in some cases, especially for us Gen Xers, okay? Let's just be honest, not a lot of us have these legacies where our parents own multiple homes and left them to us,
No.
or your parents are dividing their bank account amongst all the kids and you're fighting. They just were fighting to survive. And
Yes.
so we're trying to change that trajectory and make it a tradition slash legacy
Yeah.
to be able to leave that chaos. I want my kids to fight over what I leave behind if I can.
Yes.
Something for them, right? I want them to say, "Hey, mom has 3 homes.
Yeah.
We need to all each split them amongst us 5." Or you
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like that's
Right.
the goal.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
for sure.
to me that is like breaking that generational like
Yep.
habit or whatever it was from the past and creating something new in hopes that my kids will also say, "You know what? I want to have what my mom or my dad or whoever had. So now that I have a piece of her old house, I want to do that for my kids and make it a new tradition going forward," right?
Yeah. Yep. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I love that I have, traditions, even like I said, the cooking, the baking, it
Yeah.
the Italian pizzelles,
Yeah.
the Italian egg biscuits, my grandmother's recipe on like a postcard with her handwriting that I get to pull out every year. I keep saying I need to get
Oh,
that. Yeah, it's so sweet, but like I need to get that uh what do you call it with the plastic? Ah,
yeah, you need to laminate it.
thank you. Laminate it so
You're
that it doesn't
welcome.
ruin, so that I can give that to the kids. But it's
Yeah.
with, my grandmother's they used to call her Nana Cookie, so because she made the best cookies.
So oh, no, I'm gonna fight you on this one. My mom, my stepmom, my kids'
Mhm.
Nana, right? Every year, there comes the box. The holy grail of
Yeah.
all boxes. Her and my sister love to bake. Okay, Renee, I do not like to bake
Oh,
because
yeah,
that takes measurement.
yeah.
I'm a cooker. I
Okay.
want to throw a little bit of this, a little
Mhm,
bit of that, but
mhm.
baking has to be so precise.
Precise. Yep.
And my sister and my mom are so good at it, and they send this box, and we're all like, "The box is here!"
Yeah.
And it is just like, and it's just a box of like some of the best, like our magic bars, our cookies. Now, my mom's her sugar cookies,
Yep.
I wish I
Oh,
could duplicate it. So
oh.
yeah, and the kids look forward to it. And like
Yeah,
my oldest, is like because mom sends it here, and then I try to save some for the oldest when he
yeah.
comes. And there are times where he comes and they're all gone, and he's like,
Oh.
"What the hell?"
Well, and the thing is for us, I only have 2 that I cook. And so I'm a little, I mean, if I have to do thumbprint, like there's certain things that like I'll do. I don't have a
Yeah,
That's the thing is I'm missing that gene that has a passion for freaking baking, cooking, and all that stuff. But there's certain
yeah,
things that like I know I'm really good at and it brings me joy to make them because it's
there you
tradition,
go.
right? And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that I'll make, and I remember growing up, my grandmother would get the tins from Christmas Tree Shop, and or like, do you remember the Dutch cookies they can get at Christmas Tree Shop or
Yeah,
dollar store, right?
yeah.
So she would buy those cookies and then reuse the tins And so
Yeah.
at Christmas, because as she got older, of course, I mean, we didn't have a lot of money. And
Yeah.
so her gift to us was her cookies. So she
Yeah.
would bake and her pizza, she'd like hand make one at a time with her pizza maker, one
Oh,
and
wow.
count. Like, so we knew it was
Oh,
made with so much love. And no matter
so
how
wow.
old like she did that for the longest time. And I'll never forget when she like bequeathed her recipe to me, and my mom and I went there and she showed me how she did it. I got her pizza maker, and so like that was the okay, here you go, now it's up to you to continue that. It was
Isn't it an honor when your kids come and say, "Mom, how do you make
yeah.
whatever that is?" And you just are like, I'm
I'll be honest,
waiting for
I
this.
don't hear that very often, but I
It will. It will happen as soon as she busts out some kids, but give her time,
I
she'll be
said
like,
to Brianna, we were talking about like favorite foods, like things that how okay. So I know this kind of a little off topic from traditions, but really not. So there's always like that comfort food, like, oh, I wish mom could make, or if I'm sick, I wish mom could make, right? I really miss mom's, whatever. And so we were
yeah.
talking about my best girlfriend, Chris, is one of those like super moms. Like you sleep over a house and all of a sudden she's got like monkey bread and she's got and she's doing this like the fear she's like little Miss Snow White and she's making everything and you come over and there's a feast to be had and homemade mac and cheese and she's got this and she's got that and you're just like, oh my god. I'm like, oh my god. So Brianna and I were talking about that recently and I'm like, yeah, is there like a dish that you're like, oh, I can't wait for you, like I miss mom's? And she was like, um she's like, yeah, I that pasta dish with the sausage, and I'm like, "Really? Like, that's the easiest
That's
way?"
it.
I'm like, "Wow." I'm like, "My lasagna, like meatballs, macaroni," and she's like, "Mine are better." And I'm like,
Oh,
"Girl, no way." I'm like, "I will fight you on that." But yeah, no, it's funny because I don't hear very often like, "Oh, mom, will you make?" No. I'm
that's
good at
so
ordering takeout.
yeah. Mom, will you order? And you're like, yes, I got it. I got
Yeah,
it. Like, I don't even order. I tell my daughter-in-law, I'm like, you want to order food? She has our credit card
yeah,
in her thing, and
yeah,
she just is like, okay, what do you want? She comes to the room. She's like, okay, da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, which one are we ordering from? And she
yeah,
just
yeah,
and
yeah.
like 90% of the times the kids are like, hey mom, you want to buy some alcohol or something? And I'm like, yeah, just order it. You have my card, right? And he's like, yep.
Exactly, exactly. Yep, she's got my card. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not the order queen, so I cannot say that I am the ordering queen. I just I mean, well, I do Instacart a lot.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, I love some of these traditions. I love the fact that, we are evolving, we're able to tweak, and that's what,
yeah,
we want women to know, like, it's okay, change your tradition, tweak it.
yeah,
It was hard in the beginning, post-divorce, I know we share this as far as
yeah,
like, not wanting to maybe celebrate certain holidays, because it was sad and, sometimes just
yeah,
I wanted to just hide under the covers with, bottle of wine and just leave me be and not
yeah,
and totally pretend that the holiday didn't exist. And that for me a lot of times was Christmas because if I had Christmas Eve, I didn't have my girls on Christmas.
yeah,
And there were, oftentimes like people would invite me over, but I just felt so funny going over just
yeah.
me. So I
Oh,
literally would spend, hours watching movies and it was
yeah.
and pretending like everything was okay and hunky
Mhm.
dory, but, we have
Yeah,
to
December is, like, really, really, really rough for me, like, right at the start because my dad's birthday was December 2nd, and then he died on the 5th, and then that from that Christmas on, so it's just, like,
yeah,
getting into that motivation as soon as Thanksgiving ends, it's just like, ugh, and
yeah,
still to this day, it's been almost 8 years, and it's like, it
yeah,
still is so hard because it's like I said, when that person who holds everything together
yep,
goes, everything shifts,
yep. Everything
you know?
shifts for sure.
Yeah.
And it's about finding our joy and, in
Mhm.
the traditions, um and for our kids and
Yeah.
you and grandkids.
And then for our
But
new selves, our new empty nest lifestyle
yeah,
selves, and adjusting to that. Christmas for us may not be the 25th, it may be the 22nd, so
yeah,
that we can see the people we love if we
yep,
can, and those who are missing still find joy when those who are there.
yep.
And
And it's okay. And
yeah.
it's okay. Make your own tradition, celebrate when it works for you and your family, or don't. If you're like, "You know what? I am not this holiday, whatever it is, means nothing. I don't wanna do it."
If you
You
just
don't
wanna
have
watch
to.
Hallmark movies all month
Yes.
long, go
Yes.
for
Yes, for sure, for
it.
sure. Yep. No, I
I
love
don't know about you, Renee. Like, I have moments where some years I'm like, oh, another tradition is watching uh It's a Wonderful Life.
it. That is my
How
favorite.
shut up. That was my dad. So like this was the first year I've been able to watch it without bawling, crying, thinking
Oh.
about him, and I watched it with the boys.
My
It's
my my kids
so
make fun of
good.
me. They don't like it.
Oh, it's so
I'm the
good.
only one. I'm like, "I love that. I have to watch that every year." I watch it by myself. I love it.
I haven't been able to do it. I've tried like 3 years prior, and I get to like I start panicking, and I just
Yeah.
like I can't do it. And so this year just some kind of joy just came over me, and I was like, "Okay, I'm going to watch it." And I watched it in just like complete love. Like that's the kind
Oh,
of life that like my dad was that for the community,
yeah.
at
Oh,
his celebration of life. He had like over 300 people there from
wow.
like he was that person.
Wow.
And so it just, yeah,
Yeah.
so, so, so special.
That
So
is.
good.
When you mentioned, the celebration of life, that's another tradition that I think has fallen we've Tony and we've talked about this a few times about how we don't know if the next generation has that same passion for some of the traditions and celebrations that we've had as far as holidays and
Mhm.
stuff. And then we're even talking about, the wakes and funerals, how
Mm.
less and less people are going to those,
Yeah,
and
it's
where that
true.
used to be all friends and family
Show
would
your
go to
respect.
it and pay your
Like, it was a respect. Like, I'm
yeah,
here to show you and tell you that,
yeah,
I am sorry for your loss and that I
yeah.
appreciated this person in your life. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fallen by the way. I don't know if it's
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if you've seen it, but we have definitely
Mhm.
seen that huge decline, that so much so that I'm like, I don't even want that for me when I pass.
Mhm.
I do
Mhm.
not wanna put the kids through that. I
Yeah, I
cremate
wanna try to
and
be in a place to where I can have it all done as
mhm.
much as getting it done besides taking my body and going and
Yeah,
doing whatever needs to be done with
yeah.
it. I just because I don't want to have that stress on them of
No.
having to worry about all those little small details because that is really, really one of the hardest things you have to do after,
Yep.
you know?
Yep, I have to figure that out because part of me has said that I wanna be cremated and give them the ashes with enough money to travel, and then take
Mhm.
my ashes and, like, leave Renee a little bit of here, a little bit of here, a little bit of here. It's like, "Oh, we got this badass buckle queen, a little bit all over the place." No, just spread joy. I'm
For
here.
all over the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I had always said that for the longest time that I wanted to, have enough resources that could be left to the kids, that they can actually, like, celebrate mom's craziness and, loud personality that way.
I'm torn on that too because if when there is a quote unquote grave site, it
Mhm,
is a place to go to
mhm.
sit and just be still and remember them, like to completely focus on the remembrance of them. When there isn't a grave site and it is just ashes, I think less and less or more and more, I should say, you become a memory and that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And I am starting to forget my dad's voice. And
right.
I am starting to it is harder and harder to find pictures.
Hmm,
And it's heartbreaking because years go by and you're like, I should have pictures.
yeah,
I should be able to find it quickly.
yeah.
And so when you think of that with your kids, you're like, what is it that I really want to leave? Is
I
it a
see, I don't
legacy?
think the
Is
kids are
it
gonna
a
come
tradition? Is
to a
it
gr
memories?
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna come to a gravesite. Like, do kids really?
No, I don't know if they do anymore. I don't know if it's a thing. I don't know if they understand it, you
Mhm.
know? So how will they remember you? I feel like they'll have my TikToks to go and laugh at
Yeah.
forever and ever.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. Maybe that's what we do, right? Maybe that's what we do is before we die, we're gonna put a compilation video together, a
Yeah,
montage,
this is for
you
you to
know?
look at whenever
If maybe
you need.
it'll be a message, right? Maybe we
Yeah.
do because
Well,
you.
you know, AI is doing that, Renee. Okay, so I know we're cutting into our time here,
Yeah.
but Renee, they are doing this to where before you die, you can record and your AI can get to know you, like Laura is getting to know you,
Yeah.
and she will record your voice, and people can buy it. So when they want to talk to you,
No.
after you are dead, it
No,
will mimic you. No,
that's
I know. That's
creepy.
freaky. I would not want my kids to put themselves through that torture
Yeah.
because I ultimately am gone.
Yeah.
And you need to learn to live without me and only carry my memory.
Yeah.
You know what's sad is that my kids are the last memory of my dad.
Wow.
My grandson
Right.
never even got to see him. So it's always just me saying, I used to do that with my daddy,
Yeah.
but he has no idea who he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's scary.
No,
It's
I
sad
know.
how we just fade. If you don't leave some kind of mark on your life while you have it,
Yep.
it just fades, girl.
Yeah, exactly. And
Not
that's
to leave everybody on a somber note.
no, but
Let's
I think that's a great way of leaving this because it shows the importance of having some of those traditions because those traditions leaving to our kids, they can then say, grandma used to do this and this is why I'm doing this. And then those memories get passed down. They may not know what the person looks like, what they sounded like, but they know that, for me, Nana Cookie had this recipe and this is why
Yes.
we continue to make them. So yeah,
Yes.
I love that, and then when they pull out Pekino and they're like, "Oh, dear Lord," "Mom's gonna make us play
Or
Pekino."
they or they play shit on your neighbor. They're gonna be like,
Put on your
"Remember
name.
when Ma?"
Yes, yes. Remember when mom got shit-faced because we were playing games until 1 a.m.?
Exactly. Aw.
Yeah,
I love
I love it. What a great way to end it, though. So,
it
yeah.
is.
Yes,
So
thank
here's you building your traditions with
yeah,
your family, tweaking whatever you need, and then tossing what isn't important to you anymore. And we just thank you so, so much for tuning in to Unapologetically Badass. Right, Renee?
absolutely. Thank you so much, and we can't wait to see you on the next one. Bye,
See
y'all.
you. Bye.
All right, Queens, that's a wrap for today's episode. But before you hit pause, let's talk about you and how we can help you slay every part of your life. If you're ready to feel fabulous and look like $1,000,000, I've got you covered with my badass queen coaching, sparkling Touchstone crystal jewelry, and Bella Grace collagen because glowing skin and a sparkly vibe, that's a power move. Check it all out at reneecarbonefleming.com. And my co-host Sierra, oh yeah, she's bringing the heat too. Not only is she rocking Bella Grace Collagen for her glow game, but she's also the queen of chic with her fabulous clothing boutique. From boosting your wellness to leveling up your wardrobe, Sierra's got the magic to help you shine inside and out. Check her out at Linktree/Sierra Whitener 7. So here's the deal. Head to our websites, grab the goods that'll help you live your best life, and let's make everything about you unapologetically badass. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with your fellow queens because the more sparkle in the world, the better. Until next time, keep glowing, keep slaying, and remember, you're a badass queen who deserves it all.